We are obviously Reach Cloud. This isn't necessarily going to have anything to do with metaverse stuff. We will have a section of this talk where we'll talk about metaverse stuff. And of course, if you have any questions about Reach Metaverse specifically, like the blockchain side of things, Cardano stuff, we'll definitely answer any questions related to that. I'm the Spider-Man character if you see me running around. And then everybody else is here, like every founder. So Shori's here in VR, Pesol's here on his mobile phone, CJ's here. They're both merged together right now, but yeah. And so we just want to go over, actually I made a list. I'm also streaming on YouTube if you want to watch it on YouTube. And I'll just say hi to everybody on YouTube. Hi, Chad. Oh, nice. And some of Shori's family is here too, which is kind of cool. So, hi. All right. And sure, you might have to mute yourself and unmute yourself for the audio. But yeah, so we'll just go over stuff and we'll get started. So quick introduction just on what we're going to go over. We're going to go over the platform first. So we'll talk about what Reach can do, necessarily speaking, what Reach can do, and what kind of improvements we've made since the last AMA. Obviously, there's been a lot of improvements. Things have changed quite a bit. So we'll go over that, and then some of the tools that we provide for creators, like the SDK, so that people can actually make their own metaverse if they want to, completely white labeled as well. We have that capability. We have the ability to do more than just metaverse specific content. You can make gaming content similar to like a pipeline like Roblox. And we'll also talk about our metaverse that Reach provides as kind of like a template to showcase what we are, well, not really a template, but to showcase what we're able to make with Reach as an SDK. And yeah, and there's Shori waving. Hi, Shori. What's up? And I don't know if is your mic working, Shori? Can you test it? Let's see. I think right now you're unmuted. Yeah, I might not be able to hear you. We have Discord and everything going at the same time, so expect problems. Let's see if I can. Oh, he just left. Okay, that's fine. But anyways, let's start with the platform. So features. Obviously, a lot has changed. Like name tags have changed so that you can actually see what platform users are on when with their name tag and their actual username. And oops, thank you, CJ. And you can see, of course, CJ just chatted. He used our chat system. This was here before. It's a little bit better now, especially like cross-platform. And you can also see the last thing that people have written above their heads, similar to Roblox. We'll improve that as well so that the text scales when there's a lot of text in that message. You can also, as you saw, Shori joined in VR, which was a really difficult thing to do prior to this. And yeah, Pesol's riding in a car at 75 miles per hour, which is kind of cool. So yeah, before there was a lot of issues with joining or being able to access the metaverse. And as you saw, Chad's here. And if anybody wants to, they can click the link in the YouTube live stream at the top. There's a pinned comment. You can click that on your computer at home, and then you'll join this actual group here where we're all together. And on Discord, it's in the general chat if you're curious about where that's at. And also the link of the event is also the link to join. So the other thing as well is that we are consistently trying to make security improvements. There's a lot of possibility for making things unsecure, especially like user data, so like email addresses and everything. So Reach has gone through a lot of internal changes, stuff that we can't really show outwardly, but stuff that internally is going to make our system a lot more future-proof and hack-proof. We're also going to be implementing cheat engines, I'm sorry, anti-cheat engines, APIs, I guess, that will improve the um, anti-cheat so that people can't actually cheat and hack the client. We also have a thing we're working on to maybe pixel streaming is an option that you can do for a really highly evolved anti-cheat. So the other thing is we're going to have talk about the tools. So obviously, in order to make a nice metaverse, you need tools, and you need to be able to easily access those tools. Most of the people who are already building know we use Unity, which is free for anyone. You can get it on your Mac, you can get it on Linux and on Windows. So it's accessible to all platforms. Unlike some other studio tools that are in-house and don't have that capability, we use Unity, an already established AAA game development tool, to actually make uh, content for Reach, at least native content. We'll get into um, in-app building in a moment. But the other part is using the SDK, Source Development Kit is what that's short for. You can actually make content and upload it. And I actually don't mind showing just quickly the world that we're playing in. I can probably show that. And I'll have to change the window once it opens. But that'll be something cool to show, that you can actually use Unity to build content for Reach and then upload it. And this is not something like, um, and there's no digs, by the way. Reach has a specific purpose. Now, if you look at something like VR Chat or Neos VR, um, there's a it's a little bit limited in scope of what you can actually create in terms of games and interactive content. Now, people like creators have gone and made some amazing things with those tools, which is quite awesome. However, Reach is specifically designed to be able to make anything using our tools. So the point of Reach is that you can make a fully AAA game using our tools and then upload it to a pipeline that's able to be accessed on any platform and is already out of the box multiplayer. So think Roblox kind of in that sense, where, well, even though Roblox is also limited, it's a content pipeline that people can use to easily create games without having to know anything about programming or most of the really hard stuff about game development. And they can make some really cool stuff. Um, and as the community grows, of course, more content gets created, and then that pipeline gets more advanced as people start sharing that content. So that's one thing. Um, so that's the features, that's SDK, that's capabilities, all of that underneath the tools section. And then actually, why don't we, so everybody's here, so why don't we just test out, for example, like all of this stuff you see here, this was built using the Unity SDK. You obviously saw people driving cars earlier. So if anybody wants to, they can get in some of these cars and just drive around and kind of showcase that. There's no passenger seat in this car, but you can use the Jeep over here and just show that if you're able. There you go. Basil, why don't you get in there? Nice. All right. And then I don't know if there's an exit button on Android yet, but anyways, what's kind of cool is that they can drive. Here, let me knock you guys off. Oh, cool. You're unstuck. So yeah, we have driving, and this is built entirely using components, so it's not like I had to script anything for this to actually be a thing. But we have drag and drop prefabs that are ready to go, where you can just import a car model and just drag it in and drop it, and that's it. And as you saw, CJ just super died. I think he had the tab background in, and so his character didn't ragdoll right away. But you can actually hit people, ragdoll their characters, and you have to hit them quite hard, actually. There you go. And so, and you hit the space bar to get up, by the way. Um, or you can respawn, that works too. But yeah, so that it's just an example to showcase. This is our default player. We're just going over SDK stuff if you guys weren't aware. So the other thing is, as you saw, I passed a few of these checkpoints over here, which was kind of interesting. And if I hit the tab button, you'll see this little thing pop up. This is an example of our racing module that we provide so that people can actually make races really easily, just drag and drop, and then swap out the models and then have like a fully working racing system. And obviously I'm in first place, so if somebody could pass through these checkpoints with me so that I can showcase the placement. And then CJ is over here shooting people, so can somebody pass through the checkpoint? Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, go ahead. So now CJ is in second place, and if he were to pass that checkpoint there, the last one, let's see if the stream catches up, because I think he's listening to the stream. Oh, there you go. You have to do them one at a time, Pei. They have to go in order. There you go. All right, so CJ passes that one, so now he's in first place, and he just got the finish line. People are having really hard trouble driving through these checkpoints, I guess. Okay. And then Shori just passed that checkpoint. All right, and then I'm gonna pass it, and now you'll notice, so I'm second place. He actually missed the last checkpoint, but it's okay. CJ's first place, and there's Paisel, he just went through. And so what I just showed is essentially the um, ability for you to create races using our drag and drop systems, and then you can duplicate this and make your own and modify. And by the way, all of this is written in JavaScript, so this is all custom code. And it's running at runtime, and it's working on every platform, which is kind of cool. So you can actually write custom code as well, which is not something you can do in other platforms, except for Roblox and I believe NeosVR. But we support JavaScript, so that's kind of cool. The other thing is the ability to upload prefabs dynamically. I don't know if you saw earlier, we kind of had a little issue where, oh, here's Rishikesh. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. And looks like you're Spider-Man as well. And earlier we had a little kerfuffle where I updated the metaspace and then the instance got cut off. But my point is that the content that's in here is all updatable. So for example, this web view here, I can make a modification to the web view alone, upload that, and then it come through and update in real time so that the next time I join, that content specifically will be updated. And the same thing is true for the spaces. And the same thing could be true for each individual car. So if you just wanted to change only one thing, one asset, you can use our SDK to update only that asset, and then it live propagate to all your different worlds or whatever world is using this asset, which is quite cool. So that's our tools. That's a big one. That's why everything else just kind of got sidelined, because we provide a lot of mechanisms. Let me steal that. And so we also are going to be implementing a shooting game. So I'm currently just developing a quick gun example, and this is an example of interaction systems which work on all platforms. So, well, if you could grab this from me, Pei. Oh, let me get that. So just to show that, okay, please, sorry, chill. All right, can you grab this, Pei? You have to use the hand icon, I believe. There you go. So now Pei's on mobile and he has this gun. And right now the input's not linked up, it only works with the left mouse button. But if I added an input that would allow him to shoot, he'd actually be able to shoot this gun on his phone without any extra um, features added. It's just using the Unity input system, And he can use this gun on it. And somebody who joins in VR can do the same thing if I just linked up the left trigger or right trigger, sorry, to the or left trigger to the shoot functionality of the gun. The other cool thing is you see the IK here. This IK is also not like pre-hard code defined. Um, you can actually specify where you want the IK to be on each interactable object. There's actually true like two real XR grab points, and he's actually grabbing that with the default player. So like there's actual grab points, and if you were in VR and you grabbed it the same way, it would actually grab those grab points, which is kind of cool. Same thing is true for seats as well. There's custom animations, as you can see the steering wheel, right? And then the feet, the knees are going through, but you can also adjust the feet, and so you can add that. Um, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. And then here's an example of another custom vehicle that you can make, just like a helicopter. And you've seen this in other platforms as well. So you can actually fly. There's no sound effects, but you can easily add them. Um, and there's some physics over here, which is kind of nice. So you can slam into those ropes. And yeah, so that's kind of cool. There's different, and all of this, I just made this. Like, this is not something that I arduously spent days and days defining and refining. You know, I just literally used the existing components that Reach provides, drag and dropped some assets, and that was it. Um, and if I could show VR, you can actually climb this, and this has like physics and stuff. And maybe at the end when we do the AMA, I can show that. But okay, I think that's it. Does anybody else know anything I could talk about? Did I miss anything specifically about the SDK or about the tools that Reach provides?
Did you want to touch on the custom launcher?
Right, that's right. Yes, I did. So let me actually switch over to, yes, it is. Very sweet, yes. And so let me switch over to, instead of screen share, or I'm sorry, window view, I'm going to switch over to screen share. So, and the stream can see it, but be nice if Discord could as well. So I'm going to do screen share. All right, you guys should be able to see my screen. Let me know if it's not coming through in the chat. If it is good, then please let me know.
Yeah, I can see that. Like you're on our website, right?
Yes. Okay, sweet. Awesome. So, um, here is Reach PC. So I just opened this. This is the PC version. Oh, I killed myself. Let me get up. So you can actually get up from your thing as well. And so this is the PC version. It's a lot faster and smoother. I'm sure the stream who's on YouTube can see the just how much smoother the PC version is. That's because everything's asynchronous and it's utilizing the CPU and the GPU efficiently and all sorts of other stuff. The other cool thing is we have web browser. Maybe I should talk about that too. There's so much to talk about, but um, the launcher. So Reach now provides launching capabilities, and I can show Vera Medical, correct?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
please do.
awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and show Reach's launcher first. So this is us using our own tool to create something. So if I actually, so I left, right, and the gun fell. But if I launch the app, I can actually launch it from here, and you'll see this nice fancy looking Reach launcher thing. What that is it's not just like something that Reach uses. It's actually a functionality of, well, I guess a plugin you could say of our SDK that we'll provide to users for obviously for a price because it's like white labeling. Um, and this launcher has the capability of launching the Reach app in such a way where it's almost like if you have Chrome, you can like switch your user, and then you have like a custom color and theme and all that stuff. It's almost the same thing, and then you basically white label to where when you launch this, it shows your logo, your colors, etc. And the only thing that you'll see is probably like a powered by Reach, which will be removable if you white label it. So Vera Medical, so I can launch that. And what I'm showing here is an example of a custom launcher. This is a Reach launcher, but notice it is branded completely and 100% with Vera Medical, which is a company of my brother Paysol here. And so I can actually click on one of these little tabs here, like BIDT. This is for medical industry. So I can click this, and what it's going to do is it's going to check for updates. It's going to download the latest Reach Explorer binary. And so once it shouldn't take long. It's really small. And so you'll see, I don't know if you see the UAC, but basically we signed our app so it's like completely available without like, hey, this is a virus by Windows. Um, So you can install it, and while it's installing, it only takes a few seconds, and it launches Reach, but watch what's going to happen. Ah, did you see how the app transformed there? And now everything is Vera Medical. Notice the logo changed, the colors changed of all the buttons. There's a theme, essentially. And then I can go to settings and I can change the organization, but you can actually disable this so that it's in kiosk mode, which is what we use. And that will allow you to lock it to this specifically. And then in the future, we'll add the ability to change this logo and also the name of the app when you launch it. So the name of the app as well gets changed. If you look here, this is the organization that's using this. So you can actually have your own, literally your own metaverse using the Reach technology that we provide.
And one
Um,
thing to add there is that one was just kind of recolored from our standard, but you could, in Solomon, correct me if I'm wrong, but you could completely change the layout of what you wanted that UX to look like because that's a meta prefab that we've built and just use, right?
yes, 100%.
Yeah, so if you have a project and you have like a specific style, like maybe instead of buttons, it's a bunch of hexes, you could and you have your menu bar on the bottom of the screen rather than as we have it on the left, you could make it however you want it to be for your users, to really fit within your brand's story and your brand's messaging. So you can convey, even if you have, say, like a website that you've been developing and you have very niche touch, then that can be 100% done within Reach as well.
Yeah, what I'm going to show here is example of what CJ just said. So let me just do like 1080 or 1280. Here you go. So you can actually embed Reach in an iframe in your website. So let's say you didn't want it to be an app, like you just needed web because you didn't care about, PC or anything like that. You can come to that later, right? Reach provides that out of the box, so you don't have to do any extra work. I might have to leave here actually, do this so that it'll let me join. So I can just join in here, and I can have an iframe of this world in my website, right? And so I can create my own main menu. I don't even need a main menu. I could just have the website, you just log in and that's it. And then what's even cooler is if you know how to use JavaScript, you know how to use the different, and this is kind of, let's transition to, if there's nothing else, let's transition to metaverse stuff. So what's even cooler is if you inject things into this iframe, you can inject the Yoroi DApp wallet linking stuff, right? So you can actually have your own, DApp linker where you don't have to even use the Reach account system, and you can use the JavaScript module that Reach provides in the app and then make your own account system that uses Web3. Now that's something that obviously we want to make tools for so that it's easy, but it's something that you can do right now if you wanted to. Um, the other thing is, yeah, so there's that, and then that kiosk mode not only applies to, so let me show an example here. Just do and kiosk equals 1, and I'll just launch it in kiosk mode, for example. And then once I'm in kiosk mode, you'll notice I can't leave this app. The only thing I can do is stay here, and if I was to disconnect from the internet, it would just spin, and then once it reconnected, it would just join right back into the world that is in kiosk mode. So that's another thing you can do. Let's say your metaverse didn't need a main menu at all. You just needed one launcher app, and then it was just like you're straight in the world. You can do that as well. That's something that we provide. Um, so there's that, and is there anything else I'm missing? Yes, actually. So
You want to show the multi? Well, there are two other things. One,
yes,
the multi browsing, and then two, did you want to do the portal stuff or talk about that?
yes, let's do that.
I'll come over to the browser as well. I apologize if there's a little bit of audio issues.
Yeah, no problem.
Mm.
And so we can basically, here, for the people, actually, I'm sure everybody's watching the stream. Yeah, nobody's in here. So, we can, so on WebGL, obviously there's limitations, so that you can't have like 3D browsers. Now that will be fixed, I'm assuming, by um, the provider that we're using, that they're going to provide an actual, like, something like that. We'll see though. But basically, I can click this view button to view what's on the browser, the content that's on the browser. And notice I'm in this browser, but that's CJ typing. I'm not typing, my hands are not on the keyboard right now. And so you can actually use this at the same time with your friends. So you can browse together. And I can go to YouTube and I can play some music. And then we can watch, or we can watch a movie together or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's co-browsing. That's the point. And you can't actually mute it super well. Like, I don't know why that happens. I think it's a YouTube glitch, but you can lower it to where it's muted. The other thing is, this only shows this, but I want to really quickly go
Wait,
to,
1 second. I wanna try something which might be bad.
uh,
I want to go to the Reach stream on the browser.
you probably could. Actually, give me a second. This will take just a second.
It's fine. I'll pull it up.
Yes. So this is our cloud conference room. It's just an example room, but we also have screen sharing capabilities. So what you'll see here is the screen share, so you can start screen sharing, and I can actually just start screen sharing. And then if I were to join this link, I can go over here. There's a lot to show, guys. So we've been quiet, not because we're ignoring anyone, but because we're actually working really hard to make this a really good platform. And then I can hit this view button, and I can actually see the stream, right? Yes. And then I can also, if it wasn't on WebGL, it would actually just be there, like you didn't have to hit the view button so that you can actually see it. So let me do that as well. And if anybody wants to like join that, they can, but it's up to you. You know, doing it right now, you can test it yourself at home. But yeah, if I join here, notice it loads the screen share and I'm screen sharing. And that's it. It was so easy for me to do that. And I didn't have to do like basically anything. All I did was I logged in to the thing that we provide here. And then that was it. And then the other thing is the co-browsing. So if I actually hit this reload button because it's timed out, but I can load here and then I can actually just co-browse with my friends. And I can collapse this. And while I'm screen sharing, I can do co-browsing. Hi there, right? And then I can go to the web, and then there it is at the same time. And I can co-browse here. I can go youtube.com, and there you go. Nice. And so that's what we provide. It's pretty cool. Um, and then, of course, if you're in VR, it's going to be really hard to actually get the screen share on your computer. Let's say you're presenting in VR. Well, what you can do is you can click this little nifty email button, and you can email yourself a link to the screen share. So let me actually open that up over here. I know we're going on a lot with the tools, but just want to make sure we cover everything. And so I can come over here, and now this link will allow me to actually view the screen share that I'm doing here. But if I stop screen sharing here, let's say I'm in VR, right? And I don't have like the ability, I want to just quickly screen share from my computer to the headset. Well, I can do that. I can just hit this, the email, go to my email, open the share link, and then I can just start streaming right here. Uh, well, I have to log in, but if I was to log in, you guys have to trust me. If I was to log in, it would work. So let me actually see. I think this is incognito, and that's why. Yes. So here. So this is a non-incognito where I'm already logged in, and then I can just click this, and I can just start streaming. And guess what happens? It streams to that. So I don't even have to be in Reach. I can just stream from my computer to the actual Metaspace without being in Reach, right? And I can be in Reach in my VR headset, and then I can present whatever I wanted to present.
And to put this even more simply, basically there's a million different ways to get an infinity screen on Reach.
Yes, exactly. And so you can play with these infinite mirror things forever. And so, yeah, so that's what we're providing with the custom launcher. That's number one. And number two is our sort of meeting, if you will, capabilities, um, which allow you to create really compelling metaverse meetings. Oh, and man, there's so much. So
Oh,
we're
yeah,
probably
one
not
of the
going to
other
be able to get to everything. Yeah, I just realized
Yeah, I
there's a
was about to
lot.
say the next thing is the building because that makes meetings really interesting too. Because other than being able to share your traditional Web 2 type of elements, such as screen sharing, or say you're sharing documents, or so you had like a quarterly report you were going to go over. A lot of these things we've done within Reach as well, or going over coding updates, but you're able to upload 3D assets into a meeting space and look at those from multiple different perspectives. So take it from the example of either an architecture firm or an engineering firm that's building parts, and you want to have a time to sit down and go over these parts with your coworkers instead of going, all right, let's all look at this 2D screen share of this 3D modeling system, say whatever the current one that company's using is, they can take that current software, download the file, upload it into Reach, and then everybody in the meeting can look around and actually look at this file that this person went and like, okay, now I can look at it in 3D. You're able to get a better appreciation for what's been built rather than looking at a 2D iteration of a 3D asset. You're able to actually kind of move it around independently and have a little bit more of an understanding of it, which is even like architecture. Like I said, you could theoretically just download the entire building and walk through it, or do little mock-ups, kind of like Solomon's showing right now. But yeah,
Yep.
that's one of the other pieces that we've been improving on as well.
Yes, sir. So right now I'm screen sharing, I'm co-browsing, and I'm also just downloaded this 3D model and then just basically uploaded it and plopped it in the meeting room. So that's just a bunch of examples of what you can do. And yes, of course, this is like networked so that if I actually were to like move it, it would sync and scale it and rotate it and everything. It syncs. So that's kind of cool. And then as we expand, of course, we'll add more capabilities here. Like there's images and text that you can add. So you can, make stuff. And this doesn't save yet, unfortunately, but it will eventually. Um,
Keyword yet.
mhm. And so, yeah, so that's what we provide there. Oh yeah, and this is in web browser, so I uploaded it in a web browser too, so that's something you can do as well. And of course, there's limitations, but we're working as much as we can to mitigate as many of those limitations as possible.
And I think also this is new from the last time we did an update is if you saw while he was building in the bottom left corner, the controls that you could access at that point do show. So, and then as you click things or as you select things, it updates. So it's not one massive list of all the possible instructions, but it shows you what you need and what you can do at that time to kind of help you use the system better because usability in a building tool is huge. We don't want to make something that takes a PhD to be able to build or be able to use. The idea is we want it to be
Materials.
very sustainable, very usable, and kind of the whole goal of Reach is eliminating barriers to entry for this space. So we want that to kind of be carried through with all of the different developments we're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just looking for something else that somebody uploaded maybe. Okay, well, I can't even see half of these assets because there's like way away from the origin, but anyways, but yeah, that's what you can do. And let me show an example of Unity. So the world that we're in right now is called VR Physics Playground, and I'll just maximize this just so we can see. And then you'll see a bunch of Reach logos here, but let me turn those off. So this is the world. This is it right here, right? This is the same world that we were just in. And I want to show you just how easy it is to make, let's say, a car, for example. Let's say I want to make a new car. I don't like this model. I just want to make something custom and something that's my own. Well, I can download the Reach Vehicles package. So I've already done that. So I can come here, I can open this up. I can just drag out, let's say, a template for one of these. Actually, these aren't very good. So I can drag out, let's say, this monster truck here, right? And then there it is. It's already done. Like I can just use this if that's fits my purposes, but for most people it doesn't. So what I can do is I can just take some of these here. Let's say this body here of this car. And let me just find like, let's say racer, or let's say car. Here we go. Let's find something that is already, let's do this. T prefab. There you go. Let's see. Let's say I wanted this, right? And so all I'd have to do is I would just swap out the model. Like it's that easy, right? And then I would disable this, and I'd disable the collider and make my own collider. So I would like make this, let's see. I didn't realize it was like a bunch of different parts, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make this mesh collider on the root, and then I'm just gonna make it convex. And then I can just take the suspension wheels here, move them up, adjust them as I want, swap out the wheel models, and that's it. And then I can just hit play. This is the beautiful part that, most of these SDKs, they don't provide, that Reach will absolutely provide and make as efficient as possible. I can just hit play, and I can actually play what I just made using a kind of like a simulated mode. And obviously the wheels are messed up. But let's say that this was good for me. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yes, that is great. But let's say that I actually was doing it correctly. I think what I dragged out was not a model, it was like an actual physics thing. But yeah, you would want to drag out just the model, ideally, and you wouldn't want like a rigid body on it, or any of the preset stuff from the asset package that you downloaded. And then you could use this and then drive it around and make your car with it. There will be tutorials and stuff like that for ease of use. And then, of course, like guns and stuff, we use the Metaverse Interactable. So it's just a few components, and then you combine these different components, and you can make like really complex systems out of them. So like shooting systems, racing systems, and of course, the example here of metaverse scripting using JavaScript. So obviously we can actually write stuff in JavaScript, which is quite cool. This is like an entire racing system written in JavaScript from top to bottom. This will be provided also as what is already provided for public use, so you can actually download it and then you can make your own and learn from it. And yeah, that's what we provide in the SDK. And it's really easy to install. You just go Window, Package Manager, click here, get URL, type in the get URL to the SDK, and then install it, and it's done, and it automatically updates, so you don't have to worry about reinstalling it every time. So you can start building today. Like if you really wanted to, come join our Discord. If you wanted to test it out, start building. Like there's nothing stopping you from doing it. You will literally lose nothing. You will lose nothing at all for doing that. And we would love to have you on, and we'd love to fix any bugs that you run into. So that's that. And I guess that's it for the tools as far as I understand. Um, and I don't want to spend too long on that because I know people have lives and they need to go places. So we'll just go to the metaverse portion. And this is the portion that people like Dalmar and people who have invested in our actual metaverse want to know about is what about the metaverse, the people who have actually spent money to use Reach in a metaversal capacity? Well, a few updates since last time. Number one is Eden. Let's talk about Eden. So Eden, whereas before wasn't accessible on anything but Windows, is now accessible on web browser. So you can join Eden in the web browser um, just by going to the main menu and clicking and joining. And if you have your account linked, your wallet's already linked, you can just look in your inventory and then you can join and hop in your plot in the web browser. So, and soon it will be on mobile as well. So I'm already in, and that's it. Now, the performance isn't going to be amazing. Obviously, you're running a massive open world continent on a web browser, so it's not going to be perfect. But luckily, you can come over here to graphics if your computer's not great, and you can just turn on very low. And then you can play in very low, and it doesn't look that bad. Like Roblox does not look, you know, any better than that. So you can go ahead and do that as well. So I'm going to go to my plot just to show you. So I'm going to go to my inventory and I'm going to just jump in to my plot. And hopefully the voice is coming from the microphone. It might be the webcam from Reach, but that's okay. In fact, let me check Discord, make sure it's going through. You guys can hear me okay, right? I hope so.
Sorry, yeah, we can hear you in Discord.
Okay, cool. And so I'm in my plot, and that's it. And it's loading on the web browser. And then I can hit B, and then I can zoom out, and I can just start building. Obviously, you can't use your own prefabs. And the reason, if some of you are like, why is he able to see my prefab? Because I'm an admin. I have access to everybody's stuff as if it was my own. And that's not something we obviously abuse. I need to have that if I want to moderate stuff. But um, I can, start building my stuff just like I would on PC, and that's it. And it's done, and it's in, and it's live, and you can go there and do that right now. So why don't you do that? So that's number one. So Eden is still being developed. We're still adding things to it. We still have plans for events in Eden. Even as recently as last week, we asked the community, what would you like to see in Eden, an event, a live event? And everybody voted, most people voted for a shooting scenario where you can actually well, basically a shooter. And so we're going to be making a shooter. If you saw the gun that we were playing with in the VR physics world, we're going to make a sci-fi shooter. And it's funny, the textures haven't updated on the character yet, but that's probably just a bug. But yeah, we'll make a sci-fi shooter that's live in Eden that you can play on your phone, on the web browser, and on PC. And so Eden's still in development. That's pretty obvious. It's not, the reason that it's quiet is because we're working on so many tooling, so many things for tooling to make sure that we can run like really, really high fidelity, complex worlds and that it'll scale properly. Obviously, an entire continent with UGN, user generated content, live that you can just build on and have hundreds of players in is not an easy thing to make. But it's something that we know we can given the amount of time.
And another piece on that is the nice thing about our focus on tooling is ultimately when you see something that we've built, that's really going to be the jumping off point for you guys because you'll go, oh, this is just an example, and then the tools will be available, and you'll be able to go, okay, now what if I combine this with, say, the racing owner? What if I combine this with my own developments? And you'll be able to kind of take what we've just started and really build upon that and build out much more advanced and much more engaging experiences. And we're going to keep building tooling and then showcasing that tooling, building tooling and showcasing that tooling, and really just providing the community with things that they can build and enabling their creativity and imagination. Now, I do have to hop off because I have a meeting coming up in like 7 minutes. So, unfortunately, I won't be around for the rest of the AMA. But if there are any questions that you guys have that the rest of the team's been able to answer, we'll get answers to you at some point, but I'm fairly confident everybody will be able to handle any questions y'all have. So I'm gonna sign off, but thanks everybody for coming. Solomon's still got well more to talk about, so enjoy.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, CJ. Appreciate you
Cool,
showing up
peace
too.
out.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't plan this. I was just like one day I was like, man, I'm gonna do a dev AMA thing, and then didn't tell anybody and just posted it. So don't blame them. Um, so yeah. So the next thing is District 1. So I wanted to make this kind of like a reveal, like a oh that's cool, and open the portal and be like, let's all go. But somebody already opened it. You put a button somewhere and somebody's gonna click it. So if everybody wants to just walk through this portal here, it may take a second. But if you walk through the portal, it'll load. And everybody keep in mind, I'm on a web browser, so um, this is also on PC as well. Actually, I'll just do it on PC just to show. And so it'll load. And this is our new design. It's been through many different designs. You guys have no clue how many different designs, maybe like 3 or 4, but it's a very arduous process to make sure that it works, and we're talking about like, oh, okay, we want it to be live. We want people to be able to look out the window and see other people and all this different stuff. So don't think for a moment that we're not like really seriously working on this a lot. On the web browser, you're going to get lag like this because of the post-processing effects. I forgot to disable it before this stream, but if you're on PC, it'll work perfectly fine. In fact, if you have a PC, I recommend just using the PC version and look at the frame rate. It's so much better. It looks better. You can even put on a VR headset and play with these graphics in VR, on the PC. Um, so the other thing is that, yeah, this is the new design. Robot Girl's still here. Some condos that were able to see Robot Girl before may not be able to because we're going for realism, so that each individual floor that you see here in this building is actually accessible, that you can actually go inside, go to that floor, go to your condo, and look out the real windows here. The condos that you're going to see here are temporary. They're small, but they're just there for reference. They will be expanded to be bigger, and we do have plans to do that. Now, I am on here, so let me actually switch out here and log in over here instead. Really quickly, let me move this over. And just log in on my PC version. And just, oh yeah, you can load URLs by the way. So if you wanted somebody to access your land plot, you just hit the share button at the top. Here, let me see if I have an open thingy. I don't. Okay, well, yeah, you can just hit the share button when you're in a world. There's a share button, and then when you hit that, you can just copy your friend or whoever can copy the link, paste it here. There's also a friends list system. So you see these doors here. I can click those and join on each of these individual users. Like right now, I'm going to join on Paisel, who's already in that world, and it'll join him, and he's right there. So that's another thing we provide as well. So you can have fun with that. And I'm going to join in my condo. I think I'm 15. So I'm going to run over there. And we'll also have vehicles. I forgot to enable the vehicle before this, but there's also vehicles. And those vehicles, by the way, will be tied to NFTs. Yes, there's no condo right now, or I'm sorry, lobby right now. So this is what the lobby looks like. It's just a cube. And then the elevator buttons are like default Unity button. But again, it's going through a lot of design changes, so there would be literally no point in making it, really detailed if it's just going to get deleted. So this is an example of a condo. Again, it's really small, but the buildings have expanded. In fact, before I upload it, I have to do some things, but it should be coming pretty soon. But the building is going to be the original condo model, but the buildings itself are going to be much bigger, and then so it'll expand the full size of the original condo, and you can look out your windows. And Shori's here with me. And if you had one of these condos here, the 12, 13, 14, you could see out. And again, don't let it deceive you because this condo may be lookoutable over there, like in a different angle. So again, it's realism. Realism is what we want. So that's what we're doing right now. And this is all one world, so you never had to load into a different world. And you saw the loading screen, obviously, but once you load it the first time, it's really fast. So you just have to wait like a millisecond to get through if you already have loaded that content, because it's all streaming. So it's streaming from the cloud. Um, yeah, and all of it's tied to NFT, so blockchain. So yeah, that's something we've had since basically the beginning, but it's a lot more advanced now, so that the capabilities are much better than they were. Um, Not only that, we obviously support Cardano, but we also support Ethereum now. So people can start making Ethereum content. This is where you link your wallet. So you can come here, you can link, and then you can link either your Cardano or Ethereum wallet to your Web2 account. And then once you've linked it, you'll see all of your NFT tied reach content within the inventory. Soon there will be objects. Objects are going to be an interesting one, like guns and different things like that. But that's going to take a lot of effort. So we're not there yet. So this is disabled right now. But right now we support worlds so that you can join in different worlds. And especially the original condos are still available for you to join on any platform. And you can invite your friends. Don't forget that. So if you join the condo, I'll show you how to do that. You can take this button here, the share button, click that, and then you can come over to the web browser. And let me actually do it incognito so that it's not logged in. And then I can paste that, and it'll join that same instance. At least it should. If it bugs out, hey man, it's live. Ideally, it will do that. And let me just allow these. Give it a moment. And it should spawn me in. Yeah, there I am. So now you can invite your friends to your condo. There you go. And it's tied to the blockchain. And then soon, though, of course, Dalmore was asking, there will be customizations so that if you bought NFTs, you can come over here. You can put your NFTs on display like trophies. Um, it's basically going to be using the same building system that we showed earlier, but with real like NFTs. And you can also, change the layout, customize if you own the different condos, you can actually knock down the walls and just have the whole floor. Like you can change the configuration, I should say. Um, and you will be able to swap out the furniture. So yeah, this was the original design. We've gone with a different design now. So um, that's where we're at. That's Eden, that's District 1. And by the way, District 1 is in Eden, so you'll be able to travel to Eden through, I'm sorry, to District 1 through Eden and through to Eden through District 1. Um, if you saw um, this gate over here, there's going to be a exit way through this gate. As you see, it's not, a lot of stuff is not finished here, but there's going to be an exit way through here where you can actually go out into the Eden continent. And then from the Eden continent, you can actually see this district, the outer city. And then as you get close or as you go through a gate, if you're in the sky as you get close, or as you go through a gate on foot, you can actually get into the city through that. And then these little empty blocks here, the new design has these buildings much bigger, so they're all filled. But the inner blocks here, these will be, at least as far as we know right now, this may change. These will be buildings that you can purchase using NFTs, and then you can advertise your content in those buildings so that you can,
We need people to help build. We need people to
yes.
like join in and populate this metaverse. So that's
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, the whole purpose of Eden is to be user generated, as Peso was saying. So like you'll have this empty plot and then you just buy it with an NFT, but then your responsibility is going to be to build that building. And then you could sell it with the stuff built on it, and then they can build on it, remove stuff, whatever. Obviously, again, that will be moderated. So if you build like a giant penis or something like that, it's going to get deleted, and then you're going to have wasted your money, and we're going to mint a new NFT and give it to someone else. So don't do that. But it is user generated so that you can make your own content. And we'll, again, that may change, but that's what we're expecting. And so far, we haven't really veered away from stuff that we've been expecting to make. Um, so yeah, I guess is there anything else you guys can think of?
We already showed the building system, right?
Yes.
I can't think of anything right now. For a quick update on the crypto side, the token flow, anybody who's staked in the ISPO, the tokens are going to come at the time of TGE, and there's lots of token flows that's being worked on right now. So it's going to be great.
Yes. And do we know the launch date yet? Because everybody keeps asking that.
Yeah, so
Shall we?
hopefully that just if I just take the chance to kind of explain the little bit of vision on this is that not only that you can do like the metaverse building of the environment, buildings and stuff, we want to include ability to make quests. And what that translates to is people can actually make real live games. So because our vision is we want to make something really new in terms of like, you know, everything is linking in the metaverse. And imagine you can actually just play a game where there's the line between, different games and metaverse are just blurred. Like I mean, yeah, you have a land plot, right? And then you build your house in Eden and so on. But then when you walk 10 steps and you see other people's house, and you never know what you're going to get into when you walk into it, it's essentially another game, like a whole universe that a user can create his own metaverse that's linked to that land. So you might be accidentally linked to another Final Fantasy VII. Or you can actually just make your own Final Fantasy VII using all the assets that we have to easily create your own metaverse game that you don't have to really worry about coding or worry about getting the multiplayer to work, let alone cross-platform. Like, imagine if you want to create a VR game, how hard that would be, let alone a VR game that is actually linked and a multiplayer and that works well, let alone being a massive multiplayer. Now you can do that, all that for free. Well, I mean, there's a with a free subscription that is, and then you can actually create your own content and your own pretty much franchise and saga, whatever you want to create. So that's kind of like the vision that why we create all this stuff.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself. Oops, sorry, I forgot I was muted. Yeah, do we know the launch date on the tokens yet, Shori? Everybody
Yes.
keeps asking.
The token generation event is May 15th of this year. So before that, there are seed rounds and private rounds that are happening right now. And if you have the NFTs, if you have the condo NFTs and the land NFTs, you will be dropped lots of tokens. We will put out the number soon. We're working on the complete flow of the token report right now, so it should be out soon.
All right.
Yeah, and what you're seeing right now is actually a user-generated content by Meta assets.
Yes.
Nice.
So imagine you have your own like land, and then you have a porter on your land in Eden, and then you link it to this world. So you can just walk over and then boom, you're in there. And this is can be just about anything you can imagine.
Absolutely. And yeah, the scale of this world, you're seeing that? That's not a background. You can actually go over there. And I believe, as far as I understand, this is much bigger than Skyrim, which is like huge. Um, so you can actually create massive worlds, and we have floating origin um, stuff. If for nerds, they know what I'm talking about, but for people who don't understand, when you make really big games, it's really hard to get the players and the rendering and all that stuff to work because as you get further and further away from the origin point of the world, everything starts to look really glitchy. And so Reach provides tooling to be able to mitigate that with just a few components. And of course, some rules to those components, like how they work. But it works with multiplayer 100% out of the box. So you don't even have to worry about, okay, how do I configure my game in such a way where I can support, really massive distances? No, just make your world as big as you want, and we'll provide the ability to do that. Don't even worry about it. So yeah, that is that is the metaverse side of things, the tooling, the SDK. I think it's getting long here, so it's been an hour. So we'll open up to Q&A, and if anybody has questions in the YouTube live chat, please drop your questions there or in Discord. If you have a question, just in the chat, just put like, hey, can I ask a question? Or just ask the question. You don't have to talk. So yeah, why don't we start that? Does anybody have questions about what we went over so far? Let's see. I'll just wait for people in the live chat and on Discord. Oh, it looks like Mr. Basic asked a question about the condos and the windows. Absolutely, bro. I 100% agree with you. I think that it would be way nicer if you could actually see at the condo. So yeah, we'll definitely add something like that so that it's easier to see out those. And by the way, you guys can do this right now. So none of this is like, gated and like, oh, we gotta wait till this release date. This is live. Like you guys can do this today, right now. Just go to reachcloud.org, download it, play it, have fun, and build. You can build stuff using our SDK right now as well.
This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing, guys.
Yes, sir. And to those of you who are watching that are not really metaverse people, you're not really gaming people. You may have saw earlier the Veer Medical thing, but just to explain that side of things, you don't have to make games. So Reach is not just exclusively for gaming, it's not exclusively for anything. You can make whatever you want for your company or for your personal desires. So since we use the Unity engine, we use we have the capabilities of the Unity physics engine and all the different cool functions that Unity can provide as a game engine. However, it can make simulations, you can make training, you can do rehabilitation for patients that are trying to recover. You can make, all sorts of stuff. So don't think that, using Reach, oh, I'm locked into video games. No, not at all. This is a tool for people to make, and I hate to use the word, metaverses. So anything that you would classify under a virtually shared experience, you can make it here. It can even be 2D. So
Let me
the
see.
Unity physics engine supports 2D, and so does not just the physics engine, but everything is, you can use the Unity 2D module, and all the components will still work the same. Looks like nobody has questions. We have some viewers. Does any of our viewers have questions? 3 people watching. And then Mr. Basic, did all your questions get answered?